I believe there's a real distinction between people that like Moxie and don't like Moxie.
No other soda has this type of following. It's almost like a little cult of his own.
Yeah, Moxie has been with us for 125 years. And when you get something that's been around that long, why change it?
There are stories all over the country of women, of song and of wine. The sights you see there at the St. Louis Fair, of the beach in the bright summertime. But they're not in your thoughts for a minute. When you're
What is Moxie?
The soda came first and then the word.
Invented in 1876 by Dr. Augustine Thompson of Union, Maine, Moxie was first sold as a patent medicine, useful for treating loss of manhood and softening of the brain. Later sweetened and carbonated, some people still think that Moxie tastes like medicine.
Where did Dr. Thompson get the name Moxie? Was it from the Indian word for Moxie of dark water? Was it from Chief Moxis, who lived in the Union area at the same time that Dr. Thompson was there?
It's actually in Webster's dictionary, and it means that you've got it. You've got Moxie.
And because it wasn't the sticky sweet stuff that a lot of the sodas were.
To me, Moxie is more of an attitude, more of a feeling within the town, the community. It brings people together.
I think the thing about Moxie, if I had to sum it up in a word of what was different about Moxie than just about anything else, it was in the title of a book called The Moxie Mystique.
The history, the mystique of the oldest carbonated beverage continuously on the market. When you can go out here on the street and you'll see a kid, 10, 11, 12 years old, sitting there talking with a senior citizen, comparing what was then and what was today.
A lot of the old timers actually grew up drinking Moxie, passing it on to their grandkids.
Do you remember the first time you had Moxie?
I think it was about 20 years ago.
Moxie sales dwindled year after year. Along came the 80s, and along came Frank Anicetti. His town needed a festival, and Moxie lovers needed an outlet. The Moxie Festival in Lisbon, Maine was born.
I got crowned.
I started helping out in 1999. The chairman was leaving and needed somebody to take over, and he told me, oh, it only takes a couple of hours. You should have no trouble with this. So I did. And I found out that it was a little more than a couple of hours.
Because it was dying, and there's no question in my mind it would have been off the market in the 80s if this had not occurred.
As far as the Moxie Festival, we have grown from 5,000 to 7,000 people in attendance to roughly 30,000 people. I'd like to think that I've had something to do with that.
I got involved in the parades and the clam bakes and the camaraderie and learned of this quirky beverage called Moxie in depth, and from that point on it was off to the races. Nothing could stop me.
People bring in food that they've made and give us the recipe, and it must contain Moxie as an ingredient. I've put together a cookbook. It's amazing the number of things that you can use Moxie in.
The street out here is a sea of orange. A gentleman came in one morning, this was back in the 80s, and he said, I want to buy 2 orange t-shirts for my daughter. So when my daughter is out there at the end of the parade and so on, I'll be able to find them quick. That afternoon at 2 o'clock he came in. Why didn't you tell me everybody would be dressed in orange? He said, I can't find my daughters.
So have you got Moxie? Come on down to Lisbon Falls the second Saturday of every July. Bring your orange t-shirt, or buy one from Frank. Crack open an ice-cold can. You may like the flavor, or you may not. Either way, you have to agree, there's something about Moxie.
In the winter or summertime, some take sarsaparilla or beer that is pale, a glass of plain soda or else ginger ale. But just make it Moxie for mine. For the strenuous life, it is fine. It's a drink that they serve which will build up your nerve. So just make it Moxie for mine. But just make it Moxie for mine.